We'll be just beating up like random enemies in this game. Honestly, it's gotten to the point now where I just turned my brain off and I'm not even paying attention to the game. So it's basically, at this point, like just an auto-clicker, to be honest. I think like once you're at this point of the game, the combat is like diverse enough where it is more entertaining to play, but like the first, like, I would say the first 4 chapters where you're trying to like build up your party. Oh, absolutely, yeah. It would sort of be like playing like Dynasty Warriors, for example, where really you don't have to pay much attention to Dynasty Warriors. You can just like beat on things and just fucking talk about whatever. I think Kingdom Hearts on anything but like the hardest difficulty sort of fits the same bill as well. Most of the fights you don't really have to pay attention to. Obviously, like if you start doing like the Colosseum fights or any of the boss fights, sure, you will have to pay attention, but like beating up just random Heartless, not so much. And I think that's like what makes a good stream game, at least in my mind. I know there's people who do stream things like, you know, Factorio and things like that and can somehow produce a good stream with it. But I think these games where I don't really have to pay a ton of attention actually do work out kind of well. Vast depends on which KH. Any of the mainline games or... I would say any of the mainline games or Birth by Sleep. Or Recoded or... Yeah. Birth by Sleep Recoded 365, but Chain of Memories I don't think so. Just because of the way the card system works. Birth by Sleep would be a bit harder because it does have the command deck. But like 1 and 2, very easily. The combat is just like press X and you'll be good. Yeah, that was my problem. That was my problem doing Mindustry. Like, I just wanted to see if it would work. But it's very clear that like that's not a game that I can actually stream and play at the same time. It just doesn't produce good content whatsoever. Well, the other problem was that was like pretty much my first time playing the game as well. So it was introducing new concepts, plus like you have these pipelines to manage and things like that. It would be like streaming like some competitive StarCraft matches. Like if you want to be doing that, like that's just not something that really goes well together. Whereas in this, it's just like press X to win. So that actually makes that kind of makes Kingdom Hearts the perfect game for it. Press X to win is the exact same thing. Dark Souls is a easier one to do a stream with because generally you have like short intermittent fights. So like you'll do one fight and then it stops, and one stop, one stop, one stop. So you have like lots of opportunities to talk, and the fights that do happen generally don't last that long. Obviously, like outside of the boss fights, but it's not like you're thrown with like a horde of enemies that'll take you a couple of minutes to get through. So you can like break between fights very easily in that game. So I think that sort of works for streaming a bit easier, at least in my mind. Yeah, for it to be a good stream game, downtime I think is important as well. Plus, depending on which Dark Souls you're playing, and the build you're playing, like, some areas of that game are, like, very cheesable. Like, if you play 2 with a caster build, like, you can kind of turn your brain off for a lot of the sections. Or you play, 1 with a pyro build, like, you can... You don't need to pay attention to a lot of it, really. With the exception of, like, Blighttown and things like that, because fucking Blighttown. Yeah, RTSs are probably the worst for it. Like, even things like Enter the Gungeon might be better. Anything turn-based obviously works out really well as well. So if I wanted to do, like... I wouldn't do it because I've already played the game all the way through, but say FF10, for example. Or if I wanted to go maybe do, like, a Dragon Quest game. I think games like that would work out. Or I've got, actually, no, that's not turn-based. No, I was going to say Ni no Kuni, but... Yeah, no, that's real-time with a turn-based interface. Persona. There's one. Persona would work really well. Here's the thing. I did it once, I learnt my lesson, and now I know that I can't stream RTSs. And I've fully come to accept that. Because I have no interest in, like, getting good enough at an RTS to actually be able to stream it. I'd much rather just go and play games that I already enjoy, because RTSs just aren't my favorite genre anyway. Like, it would be one thing if I adored them, and then I was like, okay, well, this is something I actually want to become good at streaming at, but because it's not a sort of genre I ever actually play anyway, like, it's not really a big deal to me. I'll just work around it and do something else.